Scandinavia has a rich history in sport and in figure skating. Tonight, another northern land gets hot for the World Championships. Tonight, skating's finest gather in Gothenburg. Scandinavia's sporting mecca welcomes the world. Ice runs through their veins, from the powerful Brian Joubert of France to Japan's exquisite Mao Asada. It's a pan-global menagerie of greatness. Meantime, Canadian youth begins to carve out a place center stage. The charismatic Patrick Chan puts it on the line. The brilliant Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer deliver the dance. Tonight, we swing into Sweden, the rhythm of the ice, as we present the World Figure Skating Championships on CBC. Gothenburg, Sweden is a center of high-performance sport, traditional home of World Cup show jumping, Golden League athletics, now its centerpiece arena. The Scandinavian plays host to the finest figure skaters in the world, and they are rolling through the turnstiles on their way to the rink's edge to see the very best at the World Championships. Hi, everybody. Welcome to CBC's exclusive coverage of the 2008 World Figure Skating Championships. Scott Russell, along with Olympic medalist Tracy Wilson, four-time world champion Kurt Browning. And you know what, Tracy? There's always so much excitement surrounding the beginning of a World Figure Skating Championships, and there's always so much talent in the field.
Well, especially this year, a lot of skaters to watch for and a lot of skaters challenging for medals, and you can feel the intensity building as the Olympic Games are only 2 years away. Two intriguing events to watch. The pairs and the ice dance will crown world champions for the first time in this competition. And Kurt, do you agree this is perhaps the strongest men's field we've seen in, I don't know how long, 10 years? Since you competed anyway.
Well, thank you very much. I always think that the men's event is the marquee, but that's just me. But this time, I think I might be right. Usually, if we're in an event and there's 3 or 4 guys that have a chance to win, that's really exciting. This time, is it 6? Is it 7? Dare I say 8 guys that could win? Which means at this event, if you're going to win it, you're going to be the world championship. No luck for you. You're going to have to earn it because someone else will take your place. You make one mistake.
Brian Joubert, the reigning world champion of France, will take nothing for granted here. How about the Canadians? They are in the mix in every one of the disciplines. Let's take a look at their chances and begin, Tracy, with the ice dance.
Well, very exciting for the Canadian team, and the best chance for a medal comes in the ice dance with Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer. They have been so strong all season. Not only are they on a hunt for the medal, but they could challenge for gold. I like the chances for Joannie Rochette and the way she has climbed this season. Remember, at the 4 continents recently, she won the silver medal, and at that competition, she defeated the defending world champion. She has a shot at a medal.
How about the men, Kurt? 2 bright lights for Canada. Patrick Chan, the new national champion, and Jeffrey Buttle, who's established.
Yeah, let's start with Jeffrey because he is someone who has proven that he can get on the podium before. He's been there at the Olympics. He has been there at the World Championships. The judges will reward the quality of his musicality, his steps, his skating, all the rest of his armor, I'm going to say repertoire. And the fact that he doesn't have a quad might not matter as long as there's a few mistakes made by the other guys. Patrick, on the other hand, he's 17. If he knew there was a 6'7" picture of him besides CBC Sports right now, he would freak out. So anything could happen. He might go there and go lights out because when you're young, that can happen, or it might wash him over. We'll see. The pairs event, very interesting. And Jessica Dubé, Bryce Davison have had the best international season this year, so they are my pick as the best chance to make the podium. But momentum comes from being a Canadian champion, and Annabelle and Cody have that. It's really interesting.
Very interesting. Tonight we're going to focus in on the pairs competition, the short program, and we're going to get you ringside to the Scandinavium in Gothenburg and join our reporter ringside, Brenda Irving.
Well, Scott, Canada did extremely well at the last World Championships in the pairs competition. The country placed 3 teams in the top 10, and the expectation is the same here in Sweden this week. There certainly were a lot of changes in pairs skating during the past 12 months, both nationally and internationally. And here with more are the headlines.
Pair skating is without its reigning world champions. The legendary Chinese team of Xu Weishan and Hongbo Zhao left competitive skating for at least this season. The pair took the year off to marry and perform in ice shows. But they haven't ruled out a return to competitive skating and a run at the elusive Olympic gold medal in 2010. Some of the loudest applause this season has been reserved for the German pair of Savchenko and Szolkowy. In the past year, they developed a full complement of top-level tricks. If they are able to win here in Sweden, they will be the first German pair to win the title in 36 years. The 2006 world champion Qingpeng and Zhang Tong won silver at last year's Worlds despite illness and injury. But they haven't shown the improvement needed to salt away the gold this year. Meanwhile, some think their Chinese teammates 2006 Olympic silver medalists Dan Zhang and Hao Zhang may have peaked in Turin. They've never skated the same since. Illness cost them last year. Dan was hospitalized after the Grand Prix final, and since that time, she's appeared weakened and quite distant in her skating. And the Canadian pair's scene saw some changes this season. One of the biggest surprises, Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison losing their Canadian title. The 7th place pair at last year's World Championships finished behind Annabelle Langlois and Cody Hay. For Annabelle, a Canadian title is a long time coming. After a decade of skating with various partners, this was her first senior national title.
And I had a chance to speak with Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison yesterday, and they said heading into the Canadian Championships in January, they think they just competed too much, and that's why they did not take part in the Four Continents competition in Korea in February. Instead, they just spent that time concentrating on their training, and they really felt it was time well spent.
I think it gave us a little time to relax because it was a pretty long, hard start to the season with 4 competitions in 7 weeks. So I think it just gave us a little time to relax and reset our goals and get back to training.
What do you
Well, there they are, Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison, who have had a very competitive season, a very busy season. They won at Skate America. They were second at Skate Canada, and then they did have the disappointment at the National Championships in Vancouver. And Kurt, what do you think? They took a step back, reloaded, refocused, right thing to do?
Yes, I think that Jessica and Bryce, well, Bryce used a very interesting word to me. He used the word relax. And I think what he means is not physically, he means mentally. And I was that champion who got knocked off the podium at Canadians. Any complacency that you may have had is gone. You're mad, you're hungry, and they've got something to prove.
Meantime, Tracy, they're in a tough competitive field.
Well, yes, they are. And so they're going to need all of that hunker and the mental focus to climb onto the podium. But the battle for the gold will come down to a fine German pair and 2 very strong Chinese teams.
And Tracy, here is that fine German pair that you were talking about, Savchenko and Szolkowy. She's 24, he's 28. She's born in Ukraine, and as a matter of fact, won a World Junior Championship for that country in 2000.
What sets this team apart is the way they're able to link their difficult elements. Watch how they open with a throw triple flip. Look at the height.
Aliona stepping out of the triple toe loop, something that's uncharacteristic for her. When you see her skate, especially in person, you think athlete, maybe the strongest female pair in the team. I mean, in the whole group.
Well, there's 8 required elements in this short program, so that look like an innocent mistake, but big deduction for that step out. She'll lose at least 2 to 3 points for that error. Now, I notice right off the top here, they're quite slow. They're not skating with their usual ease. They're the first skaters in the competition, so it can be very difficult to kind of get out and set the tone of the competition.
Expectations are very high. They were the bronze medalist at the last World Championships in Tokyo. Very competitive this season. And moving up the ladder, people expect they may be able to get to the top.
Again, out of sync here, so this is not one of their best skates, Scott. Able to get back together, though, by the end of the spins. You may be wondering about their unique costumes. Well, the music is a soca, which is from a Bollywood soundtrack, so.
Thank you, I was wondering. I think it's the kind of music that doesn't naturally reach out to the audience, so you rely on the quality of every single element within your program to build momentum, and that's not what's happening today.
Aliona Savchenko and Robin Szolkowy of Germany. The World Championship bronze medalists a year ago in Japan. Hard pressed today in the short program. We'll return to the Scandinavium and CBC's coverage of the World Figure Skating Championships in just a moment. Aliona Savchenko and Robin Szolkowy, the winners of this year's Grand Prix final in Torino at the Palavella, are finished their skate. Safe to say, though, in the short program, they did not set the bar too high.
Well, this is the slowest I've seen them in competition, but a great start, Kurt.
Well, watch this triple flip landing. What you see is often the girls struggling to control the momentum on those big throws. Not her. Her athleticism comes in and saves the day each time.
And it comes into play here, too. Look at the lateral way she's in the air and spins very, very quickly. But here was where the costly mistake happened, and watch how Aliona just doesn't fight for it. She was cautious in the landing of that jump and throughout the program.
The big sign of caution for a skater in the jump is when their shoulders come up. It's a sign of protection. If someone's going to hit you, you immediately bring your shoulders up to protect yourself. It's your body's way of saying something is wrong. And if you look at that jump, her shoulders were right up in her ears.
I talked earlier about the way they link their elements, and they all of a sudden go into a lift out of no steps, but they're able to get speed within the elements usually. Here's a look at their death spiral. Just didn't quite have the magic and the flow. It was a very safe program, and it looked to me like they were skating not to lose instead of skating to win.
Yeah, we were talking about that. It's exactly what happens to your mind. I have a chance to win. Let's change everything. You try to fight it, but it's human instinct.
That man right there is their coach. You saw his reaction. Ingo Stoja, he was the 1998 Olympic bronze medalist in the pairs competition with Mandy Wurzel. There's a look at the marks. 40.75 for the technical elements, and the presentation score 31.25. And so that will be shy at 72 of their season's best and their personal best in the short program. So some perhaps early difficulty for Aliona Savchenko and Robin Szolkowy, the German national champions and the bronze medalist from last year's World Championships. Welcome back to our coverage from the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, Sweden, the 2008 World Figure Skating Championships. Pairs short program, and here are Tatiana Volosozhar and Stanislav Morozov of Ukraine. They train in Kiev and in Hackensack, New Jersey with Nikolai Morozov. By the way, Stanislav was the 2000 World Junior Champion with the woman you just saw, Aliona Savchenko.
Quite an achievement last year for them at the World Championships, where they finished 4th. They're going to be hard pressed, but they'll go after it to equal that result here. skating to Peter Gabriel's The Feeling Begins, and this is a team that's known for their high-flying tricks.
I think everyone skated to this music once.
Oh,
wow.
Beautiful triple jump side by side, no deductions there.
Three times they have been the national champions of Ukraine.
That's probably why. Beautiful throw triple twist.
Very interesting variation in that lift. He rotated one way and then stopped rotating and went the other way. Extremely difficult and tough to balance.
Hard enough to change your own momentum, but let alone a girl over your head. I think I'll stick to singles. Singles or pairs, this footwork sequence is very slow, calculated. There's no surprise, there's no energy in it.
Well, they definitely handled their big tricks quite well. Major error on the throw triple loop, and Kurt, I have to agree with you, the skating between the elements just a little bit slow and cautious, not up to the level or the speed of the top teams in this competition.
Yeah, it just seemed to me like Stanislav had something else on his mind. I mean, they say there's no crying in baseball. It didn't look like there's any smiling in figure skating either.
First two pairs here at the Scandinavium have had stumbles. Savchenko, Szolkowy, two of the favorites from Germany. They also had a slow program. This program by Volosozhar and Morozov of Ukraine was also, as you both remarked, quite deliberate.
Well, if you look for the personality and the spark in a program and that music, a lot of skaters have used it, myself included, because it is so intricate and challenging, a lot of emotion brought out in the music, and I didn't see that happen here. It's a short program, it is business. Get the tricks done.
Coming up, the Canadians, Skate Canada silver medalists, Skate America champions, Dubé and Davison, when our coverage from Gothenburg continues. Tatiana Volosozhar and Stanislav Morozov, fourth at the last World Championships in Tokyo, Japan.
Look at the height on this triple twist. She easily rotates over his head. Very, very strong. And look at the height in this throw. Too much height.
And too much lean as well. The great camera angle, you could see the lean, you could see how her arms were coming out. She probably felt that lean. And this is the second half of that lift where they changed direction from right to left to right. And absolutely incredible elements, but unfortunately a fall.
Season's best, 61.29 in the short program. Technical elements, 35.17. The presentation score, 25.36. And that means with a deduction of 59.53 in the short program for Volosozhar and Morozov of Ukraine. And puts them in second position now behind the Germans, Savchenko and Szolkowy. So a couple of little difficulties with their program, as the Germans had as well. And now Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison of Canada getting ready to go. There is Annie Barabé, their coach, at the boards with them, and they have a very busy season. They are the Skate America champions, the silver medalists at Skate Canada, and they were 4th at the Grand Prix final in Torino.
Well, they finished 7th at the World Championships last year and would like to move up. And the way they competed internationally this year, it looks as though they can. But they have to lay it down and skate clean. Here's their coach, Annie Barabé, watching on. Great start. Side by side triple Salchows.
Might want to mention that that's a more difficult triple than most of the competitors are doing, but this element, a simpler one with only 2 revolutions on the twist instead of 3.
Watch this entry, upside down and then right into a throw triple loop.
Oh, that's got to feel good. Canadians, that went down.
They have stoked the competitive fires after ceding their national championship to Annabelle Langlois and Cody Hay in Vancouver.
Well, I said they had to skate clean, and they've done just that in this program. Kurt, I think this is as well as I've ever seen them skate. They had everything. The technical qualities, they used the music, they related to each other and to the audience, and their coach is applauding in approval.
I love how they linked the death spiral straight into the final spin, and how they both skated away from each other on inside edge, completely facing the other way, turning on that edge, coming back. At home, that may look simple. It's not.
Big contingent of Canadians, and there's Bryce's dad, Rick Davison, throwing a little prize on the ice here in Gothenburg at the Scandinavium. The first Canadians have excelled in Sweden. We'll continue with the pairs short program from Gothenburg. You're watching World Championship Figure Skating on CBC Sports. Stay with us. Packed house at the Scandinavium for the 2008 World Figure Skating Championships, and the pairs short program. Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison have been very good.
They look so smooth and polished in this performance, opening with their side-by-side triple jumps.
And we made, remark that it was a harder triple jump than the other competitors. There's only really a couple of other teams doing the Salchow, but that, double.
Yeah.
All the other teams at the top are doing triple.
One of their best features is their lifts, and look at how Bryce travels right across the ice from end to end, and Jessica in a beautiful position in the air. Wonderful the way they carry their flow. Here, going into her throw triple loop from upside down to right side up and lands on her feet.
You could say she sees that jump from a different perspective.
Along with their coach, Annie Barabé now, awaiting their marks for technical elements. They score 40.52. Their season's best, by the way, 63.12. Presentation score, a whopping 28.14. So they've succeeded in exceeding their season's best by quite some margin. That will be a 68.66 for Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison of Canada, a new season's best, and they move into second spot now behind the Germans, Savchenko and Szolkowy.
And that was a huge personal best, not just a season's best, a personal best for Jessica and Bryce, and in close behind the Germans, who were favored to win this competition.
Who made more mistakes if you're just sitting at home watching it, but the in-between stuff that was so good is such top level that they made up for it. So it may seem like our Canadians had a better skate, but the in-between stuff that the Germans had just makes up for their mistakes. That's just how strong they are.
And as you pointed out, the triple twist versus
That's
the
right.
double twist, and that's going to be the key ingredient for Jessica and Bryce as they approach the Olympics in BC 2 years from now.
And the next short program we'll see in the pairs competition, Maria Mujortova and Maxim Trankov of Russia. She's 22, he's 24, and they train in St. Petersburg.
Battle within a battle in this competition between the two Russian teams. This team against Kawaguchi and Smirnov, and they finished ahead of Kawaguchi and Smirnov at the European Championships, where they won a silver medal. There's a triple twist to open, and great flow on the landing.
Side-by-side jumps, and it's so hard to watch both skaters at the same time. Thank goodness the judges have replay. But you could see that she did not hold the quality of the landing, and actually neither did her. But at least they rotated 3 times in the air. Short program, that's important.
Great potential shown earlier in their career. They are the 2005 World Junior Champions.
And when they won that title, guess who won silver? Dubé and Davison. Sometimes nicknamed the dynamic duo because of their fights, and because of that, they went through 4 coaches in 8 months and have finally settled with Oleg Vasilyev. And we asked him what made the difference. He said, well, if we fight with Oleg, he'll send us out to run around the lake. And so finally we realized it's not worth our while.
And Tracy, they've been through the best. They've been through Tamara Moskvina and all the rest.
Nice pro triple Salchow at the end of the program, showing nerves of steel to get the job done at the end. Yeah, most skaters like to do those elements early on so they don't have to think about them the entire program. I like that approach that they took.
Maria Mujortova and Maxim Trankov of Russia.
Let's take a look here at the side-by-side jumps and watch her leaning forward. Costly mistake. He stepped out of his.
Did she actually look at him to see if he landed hers and then missed hers? It looked like she was looking at him before she was ready to land. Watch the landing of this lift. Typically Russian, perfect control. Oh, we didn't get to see it. But there's this generation and generation of skaters from Russia that just have that quality.
You talk about the Russian pair quality. They've been missing from the world scene for so long. Good to see these Russian pairs back.
There are the marks for Mujortova and Trankov. Presentation score of 27.15, 36.94 on the technical elements. Their season's best is a 63.10. Here they're 64.09, and that's a new landmark for them in this competitive campaign. And so the Russians now hoping to vault the ladder here in the short program at the Scandinavium, and they move into third spot behind the Canadians. Right now, let's get you ringside to Brenda Irving.
When you watch Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison in the warm-up, you knew it was going to be a special performance tonight. Did the two of you feel that as well?
Yeah, well, for my part, I felt very comfortable, and I just wanted to do it so bad, so I tried to stay focused the whole time.
Well, you took some time away from competition last month. How do you think, Bryce, it helped you in the short and look ahead to the free, and how it might help you there as well?
Well, it gave us time to just really repeat the short over and over again, because it's been our weaker of the two programs so far this year, and we've been doing more clean short programs before this competition, before any other we've ever skated, so it gave us the time to relax a little and get back to training.
Well, you got the job done tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
One more look, indeed. Jessica Dubé and Bryce Davison savor their first moment in the spotlight at the Scandinavium. We'll return to Gothenburg and the World Figure Skating Championships on CBC Sports. Stay with us. Now, center ice at the Scandinavium in Gothenburg. Here are Zhang and Zhang, Dan Zhang and Hao Zhang of China.
And they will skate to Piano Fantasy. They've had moments of brilliance in their career. However, last year at the World Championships, they had a major error on a lift in the short program, ended up finishing in 5th place. Lots of potential, but they aren't realizing it yet. What do they do best? The high-flying tricks. Here comes the twist.
Oh. I don't think that's a word in English, but it means wow. Speaking of high-flying tricks, these guys do the throw triple loop 1 point more difficult than most people's triple toe loop. That's just going to do nothing but help.
I'll never forget her spectacular fall on the throw at the Olympic Games and the resumption of the program. Courageous. And of course, they went on to win the silver medal at the Olympic Games in Torino.
They're skating very well and fast across the ice, and with more expression than I've seen them skate. And I guess, you know, when you are delivering the big tricks, it's a lot easier to have good expression and lots of energy. A little bit slow here. Their transitions are not as strong as the top German team. And you can see here again in the footwork, quite far apart and not particularly complex.
It's the individual skating that really, you know, you get caught up in the big elements, but it does still called figure skating. And, you know, the individual effort needs to be there.
Zhang and Zhang of China, 2006 Olympic and World Championship silver medalists. And with the sabbatical taken by Shen and Zhao, this pairing figures to move up.
Well, they're going to challenge the Germans with what they were able to lay down here. Look at the twist. Look at the height. Unbelievable, and all kinds of time in the air so that he can pick her out of the air and gently put her down. Their coach, Yao Bin.
He's seen it before, right? He's not impressed. Throw triple loop. I think the hardest throw in the competition by the top skaters. Just gaining points with the first 3 elements of their program. Crazy.
And this is the one element that they did better than the Germans. No step out on the landing of the side-by-side triples.
I think if you remember them from a few years ago, they really have improved. You know, of course, their elements have improved, but the in-between stuff, even though they're slow and the individual skating still needs improvement, there's a lot more connection between them.
You watch here his footwork on the lift, a little bit awkward, though she has a nice air position. Well, it's going to be close.
Marks for Zhang and Zhang of China, presentation 30.86. Technical elements 43.5. Make it a 74.36. That's a season best for them. So Zhang and Zhang have had a great skate to move into number 1. Up next, the new pairing of Megan Duhamel and Craig Bunton of Canada. Stand by for more of the 2008 World Figure Skating Championships from Gothenburg, Sweden. Welcome back to our coverage of the 2008 World Figure Skating Championships. Scott Russell with Tracy Wilson and Kurt Browning. Another group on the ice warming up for the pair's short program, including 2 more entries from Canada at the Scandinavium. Right now, let's get you to our rinkside reporter. Here is Brenda Irving.
You know, it's not too often that you hear of a team partnering and then several months later being good enough to make it to the World Championships, but that's exactly what Megan Duhamel and Craig Bunton did. Unfortunately, though, for the Canadians, their journey to the World Championships hit a bit of a detour.
Please allow welcome for Megan Duhamel and Craig Bunton.
After working together for less than a year, Craig and Megan finished an impressive 3rd at the Canadians. But their luck took a turn for the worst just days later.
In the gala, we did a lift. It was a little bit off. I tore my rotator cuff, and I have a partially torn labral tendon.
It was just on a routine lift, like a lift that we do in our short and long program every day. And it just went up a little bit weird, so we didn't let go. We stayed on 2 hands.
Had an MRI done. Doctors gave me, I think, about a 30-40% chance of maybe being able to compete.
Craig has since undergone physiotherapy to try and heal his shoulder, but the pair admits it's been an uphill climb to be ready for Sweden.
When we said, okay, yes, we are going to Worlds, we did it basically on the condition that we wouldn't downgrade and we would go in with the same aggressive attitude that we always have. So we're going in basically with the same goals and the same gusto that we normally have before competition. To be honest, every lift hurts. I mean, right now we have to focus on having our lifts technically correct so that I'm in the right spot, so that the shoulder opens up a little bit, you know, I have no power. So essentially, every lift, you know, those are trouble spots.
Well, at the time they qualified for these World Championships, they had only been together for 7 months, and now they're dealing with injury on the part of Craig. Not only the rotator cuff injury, but he's got a knee problem as well. And still, they are a very talented duo.
Like Dubé and Davison, they do a double twist instead of a triple, hoping to do it so well they get extra marks on grade of execution. That was nicely done.
Fantastic triple toes, a little off in the landing for Craig. If this was hockey, they'd be calling this playing hurt. But they've got no choice. They want to give up their chance for the World Championship. And here comes the lift. They created the injury, and like Craig says, if everything is perfect, it's okay. If anything is off, that's when the trouble starts. So far, so good.
We've seen Craig be the national champion with another partner, Valerie Marcoux.
Well, they are skating really well to this point. They've got one more high-risk element coming up, and they've planned it next. It's to throw triple Lutz. Watch the height she gets on this. Wow. Nice landing.
I said earlier that Zhang and Zhang had the hardest throw in the competition from the top teams. I was wrong. Triple Lutz a much more complicated throw.
Losing a little speed here on the footwork. Got to keep it together. What a courageous performance by both of these two. And sometimes it takes an injury to take your mind off worrying about the elements and it focuses on something else. Love the way these two have improved in such a short time. Each competition out, they've gotten better and better. This was terrific.
Well, Kurt, if that was playing hurt, Craig Bunton gave it a gutsy effort. We'll return to our coverage of the World Figure Skating Championships from Gothenburg, Sweden, in just a moment. Back now at the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, Sweden, and the 2008 World Figure Skating Championships, and watching the performance of Craig Bunton, Megan Duhamel.
Well, nice side-by-side triples here. And you could see Craig was really fighting for the landing. This is the lift. Watch his right arm. You can see it there. And obviously the balance was right on because he was able to hold it up and not lose control, but a little bit sloppy on the dismount.
Well, a little tiny smile after it was done, too. Did you notice? That one's over.
And a big sigh of relief. The one element that they need, and Dubé and Davison, if they're really to challenge for the top, is the triple twist. Both the Canadian teams do double twists. Here is the throw triple Lutz, as you talked about, the most difficult throw.
But it's that double twist versus the triple twist that I think makes the difference. And it's the triple twist gives you control of your own destiny as a team. Without it, other guys could win.
Canadian bronze medalists, Duhamel and Bunton, presentation score 23.76, 36.25 on the technical elements. And that will exceed their season's best by quite some margin, 60.01 for Megan Duhamel of the tiny community of Lively, Ontario, and Craig Bunton, who is originally from Kelowna, British Columbia. They currently stand 5th in the pairs short program competition.
And what a terrific showing for them in their first World Championships as a team.
Now to the Russians, Yuko Kawaguchi and Alexander Smirnov. She is born in Japan and the first non-Russian to compete for that country at the World Championship level.
skating to Rondo Capriccioso by Camille Saint-Saëns.
Perfect unison. Absolutely amazing triple toes, and they'll get extra points for that quality, which just might make up for the fact that some of the other teams are doing more difficult jumps.
Triple twist. Little low on the catch.
You'd like to see the girl caught in the air and not on his shoulder.
Coached by the legendary Tamara Moskvina. They were 9th at the last World Championships.
Well, Yuko was watching Elena Berezhnaya compete in the Olympic Games and thought, I want to skate like her. So she went after Tamara Moskvina, tracked her down, and ended up becoming her student.
I don't doubt it, because I did some shows with this team and they got off the ice after every single performance. She gave it to them. She is the boss. Some teams like to use mirror footwork. Other teams like to match each other. This team's showing a little bit of both, and I think that really, as they finish up, I think that really shows versatility in their footwork.
I think this venue is bringing out the best in some of these pair teams. Watched these two compete throughout this season, and they are having their very best performance here.
A large and appreciative crowd at the Scandinavium for the 2008 Russian champions, the European bronze medalists, Yuko Kawaguchi and Alexander Smirnov. Right now, let's get you to Brenda Irving.
Well, Craig, you might want to consider a career as an actor, because, boy, you couldn't tell you were in any difficulty or any pain out there. How was it?
It hurts. I mean, I have surgery booked next week on it. Basically, we decided that we would only come here if we could come out and skate as if we're not injured, you know? You get an injury, your head gets injured as well, and we haven't allowed it to keep us back, so we're excited.
Well, Megan, your first World Championships, maybe not quite as you would have scripted, but how did it feel out there, and how were you able to help Craig through the performance?
Oh, it was better than I could have expected it to be, and it's been really difficult since Canadians, but we've been able to support each other. I was injured earlier in the season, so he dealt with that, and you know, I was just so excited that we're having the opportunity to come here, so there wasn't really any expectations. I was just like, we can get through it and we'll be good.
You did a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back at the World Figure Skating Championships in Gothenburg, Sweden, there are the Russian national champions, Yuko Kawaguchi and Alexander Smirnov.
This was a lovely performance. Their flow has improved, and look at this on the triple jumps. Watch the landing.
Oh, even in slow motion they matched.
Exactly, and they take the speed from the jump right out to the landing. The triple twist, you can see she didn't get the height, and she landed right on his shoulder.
I like how she uses her face to keep spotting behind her, and it really shows control. Jamie Soleil can do that as well. And you watch her face and you really get into the fact that she's not just above him, that she's still performing.
Last year at the World Championships, they finished 4th in the short program, but then came undone, finishing 10th in the free program. It was a big surprise they finished that high in the short, but I don't think this program was a surprise tonight. They've been building to it. throughout this season, getting a little bit better each time out. And I think these are the best scores they are going to that they have seen so far in the short program.
Technical elements 42-28, 29-14 the presentation score. That is well over their season's best. Tracy, you were talking about the failure in the long program at Tokyo last year. The end result was an overall 9th. Now they have a season's best in the short program, off to a great start again. And Kawaguchi, Smirnov are currently in 3rd position here in Gothenburg. Now to the Canadian national champions, Annabelle Langlois and Cody Hay. She's from Grand-Mère, Quebec. He's from Dawson Creek, BC.
Annabelle has also been injured since the Canadian Championships. She hurt herself doing a triple twist where she came down on Cody's shoulder. And then, to top it all off, that dislodged her kidney stone, so she was 3 weeks in hospital. Opening with their side-by-side triple jumps, triple toe. And he just hangs on, puts his hand down on the landing.
Well, how hard can a triple toe be after a kidney stone, right?
And here's the move that dislodged the stones, the infamous triple twist. This is a move that's new for them this season. A little bit low on the catch, but it's great that they're getting this out in competition because, as we've talked about it, they need it.
Oh, wow. You need everything at this level because the teams tonight are really skating well. Maybe a bit of a 2-foot, but she deserves that smile on her face right now.
Annabelle achieved one of her goals by becoming the national champion with Cody Hay. She had been to the Olympics and the World Championships previously with another partner, Patrice Arquette, but the two of them had never combined for a national championship.
One of the few teams to do their footwork step in a circle instead of straight line. I like it. It keeps the skaters closer together.
Well, all in all, it was not a bad performance by Annabelle and Cody. However, in a competition this close and all of the teams skating so well, those little mistakes are going to add up and keep them out of the top group.
You saw the look on their face, both of them almost instantly kind of analyzing the program. Okay, how much did we lose? What did we give up? I think they should be happy.
Next, the former world champions Pang and Tong won CBC's exclusive coverage of the World Figure Skating Championships continues. Annabelle Langlois, Cody Hay, their coach Lee Barkell, here in the area where they wait for marks at the Scandinavium in Gothenburg.
Well, watch Cody's hand down here on the landing, and that's a deduction there. And here comes the throw. Watch Annabelle's free foot. Oh, and it just slightly touches down. But still, another little deduction, and they do add up. The other teams have been skating so well.
Even though she didn't put any body weight on the other foot, it still is the same deduction if she'd have put it down and glided on it.
It's important that they try and stay close with these scores. They may be down in the standings, but it would be great for them if the points were close.
Totals for presentation and technical elements, 59 95.43. It is a season's best mark for Annabelle Langlois and Cody Hay, the national champions. But the other Canadians have also been very good. Duhamel Bunton as well as Dubé and Davison. And this will leave Annabelle Langlois and Cody Hay in 8th position after their short program. Now the former world champions, Xingpang and Tong of China.
Well, in the tradition of great Chinese pair teams, these two have the same kind of high-flying tricks. Very fast and exciting to watch. Step out there on his triple toe. The same mistake that the Germans made. Now watch the twist. Bang on the throw triple loop.
You can hear the quality of the edge immediately as soon as she touched the ice.
They won the World Championship in 2006. Together they have been to 10 editions of the World Figure Skating Summit.
After 10 trips to the World Figure Skating Championships, and this may sound a little harsh, but they're learning how to skate. The Chinese teams were always about the tricks. Now they're starting to actually come with the full package.
A little slow there at the end of the death spiral. I agree with you, Kurt. I like their expression, particularly Ching. She really seems to be into the music, expressing it, relating to her partner and the audience.
I just think it's amazing what a relaxed expression on the skater's face does to the way you feel about their overall ability to skate. It just sends a message of confidence and is fun to watch.
Pang and Tong from Harbin. They train in Beijing with their coach Yao Bin.
And problems there, Scott, on their opening the side-by-side triple jumps. He turned out she may have under-rotated it. A terrific triple twist, though. Lots of height. And look at this. I think they'd say swish.
Yeah, that's the term. The technical term is swish.
And
Stolen
there's
from
the expression
basketball.
that you're talking about.
It's been a long time coming, it really has, but I applaud the Chinese Federation for all the work that they're doing.
Just off the podium at the Olympic Games in 2006, they were 4th. Presentation score 30-29, 37-58 for their technical elements. And that will just exceed their season's best, 67-87 for Pang and Tong of China.
And that was a costly mistake on the side-by-side triple toes. Hers was under-rotated. They were only given credit for a double.
Pang and Tong currently rank 5th And here are the results after the short program. Zhang and Zhang of China, their teammates, are first. Savchenko Szolkowy of Germany are second. Kawaguchi Smirnov of Russia stand third. Canada's Dubé and Davison are currently in fourth. Meantime, Duhamel Bunton are seventh. Langlois Hay are in ninth. Right now, here's Brenda Irving with Annabelle Langlois and Cody Hay.
Annabelle and Cody with the season best score in the short program internationally, but I get the sense from the two of you you're not completely satisfied with the program tonight.
No, and we're happy that it's a season best, but we didn't do great shorts on the circuit this year. Our best short was at Nationals, and we didn't beat that performance for ourselves, so we're disappointed with that.
Well, anytime a pair comes into a World Championships as the new reigning national champions, it can work one of two ways, be a lot of pressure on the team or motivate them. How do you think you've handled that pressure?
I thought we handled it really well, actually. I mean, we didn't really feel any more pressure to perform. It was more like a confidence boost for us. So we've been training really well ever since Nationals. So coming here, we felt really confident. And I think that was one of the main reasons why this was a little bit more disappointing.
Well, good luck in the free skate.
Thank you very much.
When all is said and done on day one, the Chinese have the lead, Zhang and Zhang. The Germans, Savchenko, Szolkowy, they are next. Kawaguchi, Smirnov of Russia third, the pair short in Gothenburg.